theme taking over here in Major League Baseball as the Red Sox are getting
Ben
set.
Charrington looking sharp, man.
Pitchers
with
and
the
catchers.
shades on. Go ahead, Ben.
And their first workout for the Red Sox Saturday coming up in Jupiter. And the Red Sox hope to go back from worst to first again, see if they can duplicate that. And for more on what's going on with the Red Sox, let's head down to sunny Florida and welcome in Nick Cafardo. So, Nick, you got out of Boston just in time with all the record snowfall coming down, huh?
I did. You know, I was at the Super Bowl for a week in Arizona, and then came home for 4 or 5 days, and then right back down here to Florida. So I've been here about a week now, and the Red Sox players have come really early.
Quit bragging, Nick.
Rubbing it in.
Rubbing it in. Killing us.
So give us your early impressions here of what you've seen since you've been down there for a week.
Well, again, I've been very impressed with the fact that very early arrivers. One of the most impressive guys to me is Hanley Ramirez, who looks like a power hitter now. He's 6'3", 240 pounds, big shoulders, muscle. He's really working hard in left field. Has been working for the last 3 months as an outfielder, even in the Dominican when he was there. So that's going fairly well, and he's just raking and as a guy who is very impressive so far. We saw Pablo Sandoval for the first time yesterday, and he, again, looks like Pablo. You know, and but he looked very good at third base, you know, very nimble there, and Brian Butterfield, the infield coach, very impressed with his movement at third base.
Hey, Nick, I want to follow up on Pablo. I was going to ask you about all the guys in camp. We'll get to there, but, you know, there's a lot of people in Boston kind of shocked by, oh, my gosh, he's overweight. What's the deal? What did we buy? What's the reaction that you've been hearing? And can you talk to those people and let them know this is Pablo?
This is Pablo, yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say to people. I mean, this guy's been what he is for years and years and years, and it's been a problem at times. The San Francisco Giants, I think, did grow tired of the weight issue, and it's always going to be there. You know, what some of the Giants people always told me, you know, if he gets over a certain weight, he starts to slow down in the field, and that's really the issue, whether he slows down in the field. It doesn't look that way to me yet. I don't think he's terribly fat right now compared to other times in his career.
Well, it has to be a bit of a concern, though. Remember last year when he came into spring training, and he had lost about 40 pounds, and I think we have a picture of that as well. But as Harold points out, he also came out ice cold.
He hit about 180 for the first 2 months, trying to be slim and like Slim Shady over there. And then he put some weight back on and started swinging it. So we got a little full screen up, Nick. But I think, Nick, here, the one thing, can you talk about Brian Butterfield and their infield workouts? Because he has one of the best programs I think I've seen in all of sport.
Yeah. Yeah, he really has a method to his madness. He really stresses explosion, that first step explosion. So I remember watching Xander Bogaerts last year, and the poor kid was just so tired because Butterfield just put him through some agony for day after day after day, but he really improved that first step explosion that Butterfield stresses so much with his infielders. And, you know, I'm sure Pablo's going to feel it as well. You know, it's a unique program. It's a program that Brian Butterfield started with Derek Jeter many, many years ago and turned him into a guy who was making 55 errors in the minors to a guy who was a very steady performer throughout his career.
Yeah, I think Pablo's on that Babe Ruth old school play yourself into shape, and Brian's going to get him there. But, hey, let's move on to some other questions here and what's happening. The other thing that jumped out to me was how many guys are in camp before it's even the day they have to be there. This is really unique.
There were a lot. I mean, there's 36 guys in there right now. This is 2 days before pitchers and catchers report. The ironic thing is that only 2 of the 6 catchers are there. You know, so that's the one area where they've been a little shy. I know that Ryan Hannigan was at the dog show. The Westminster Dog Show had the dog in that competition, so he has an excuse, obviously. But again, I mean, they're supposed to report tomorrow, and I'm sure everybody will be there by then. But very impressed with some of the positional players who have come in early, and really all the pitchers that were there very, very early. I'm talking like February 1st. Jackie Bradley Jr., who had a terrible year at the plate, he was there February 1st.
Nick, let me ask you real quick before we let you go. I know Harold is over the lists and the countdowns, but you put one out Sunday in the Boston Globe. You're ranking the managers heading into 2015. So just quickly, maybe give me your top 5 and just basically your thought process as to what went into ranking which guys where.
Well, it's a great way to make enemies very early in the season. So and I think I've done that. But, yeah, I mean, I think some of the top guys are obvious. Bochy, number 1. Showalter, I think, is fabulous. Joe Madden, Bob Melvin, Francona. I mean, some of them are very obvious. The ones that get tougher are the ones in that 20 to 30 range, where it gets a little tougher to pick guys, and that's where guys get a little bit mad at you. And I always pick the guys who haven't managed yet. The first timers are always at the bottom. And in 30th, I had Paul Molitor, and of course I'm getting all kinds of things from Minnesota. I mean, how can you rank him 30th? Well, he hasn't managed yet. He has not managed yet.
I saw you snuck John Farrell in there in the top 10, though. You got John Farrell in the top 10. You got to see him every day.
Yes, I had to do that. That was good PR on my part.
Nick Cafardo already down in Florida, a great writer of the Boston Globe and a great friend of ours here at MLB Network. Enjoy the sunshine, Nick.
Thank you, guys.
Great stuff, Nick.